We're trying to talk about something serious for once. For once. Tracy's got a dildo on the table.
I can't.
And she's snuggling it. So we wanted to Tracy's so open with her entire life. And
I try to keep you guys updated.
It's not just the good. I think a lot of people post only the good.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
not
it looks
the bad.
easy, but I also posted a Snapchat the other day of the girls screaming and beating each other up. So, I mean, my reality.
Well, I appreciate that because, well, that's everyone's reality. No one's life is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's what social media likes to portray, that everyone has this, like, perfect life. But it's not true. And the dick's looking at me in the eyes.
Okay,
just
I'll put it
thank
down.
you.
You're welcome.
So, you know, I think everyone appreciates that you're open and honest. And we wanted to always talk about Julian for the season finale and, like, kind of the journey. And Tuesday is a really big day. So I wanted to catch everybody up to what's going on, what we can expect, and kind of like how we got here. Is that okay?
Yeah. This Tuesday, obviously Tuesdays are very special for our podcast because that's when we air. But this Tuesday is my son's surgery for the cochlear implant. It's basically a transmitter that is implanted into your head, and it takes sound and transforms it into something the brain can understand, since the ears don't work, of words and sounds and that whole thing. So he'll basically be able to hear not through his ears but through the implant.
I have chills right now.
It's a lot. It's like so crazy. I think it came out like maybe 15, 20 years ago, not even.
Not that long ago.
No.
Like,
so
like kids our age didn't have this option growing up, which is
not
crazy.
as kids, not as babies. No,
Wow.
definitely this year Generation Z, I guess, whatever. But it's more it's a very kind of an invasive surgery. He has to put it under the skin. And so it's a 3.5 hour surgery.
Oh,
that's just for the
God.
one ear.
I can't even fathom a little baby having surgery. It just doesn't
He's
seem...
9 months old, 10 months actually. And he will, so this was the plan from the beginning. When he was born, we knew that he had no hearing because when you are born, babies instantly get hearing tests. Whether the mother knows it or not, they give hearing tests. And if they're fine, they usually are like, hearing's clear, blah, blah, blah. You don't even know. But if they're not and they don't pass the hearing test, they come in and they tell you, like, he failed the hearing. We're going to try it again. If not, he needs to see an audiologist and that whole thing. So he failed 3 times. We went to an audiologist on the island, and they told us that he failed her test as well. Then we had to go and get an ABR, which is basically they link those, those things from ET that they link to his head and the stickers. That all over. They basically put those stickers that are like wavelength things on him to check, like, subconsciously what he can hear and not hear, instead of trying to get a response from him, like, physically. And they basically did that, found out that he had absolutely no hearing from that. So he doesn't hear anything, like, not maybe a jet plane, like if it flew over really close, he can hear that just because it's so aggressive, but like dogs barking, people talking, none of that. So he lives in like a silent world. And from there, we were given the option, would you want to get him the implants so that he can possibly hear in the future? And our answer was, of course, yes. And then we got to the point where we didn't even know. We got him hearing aids, and the hearing aids didn't even work because he's so profoundly deaf. So that they told us then we had to go give him an MRI because they didn't know if he even had ear nerves. So if he doesn't have ear nerves, they have nothing to connect him to.
I literally remember this day like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was so intense because this was like the make or break, whether he either has to live in a silent world, which is not a bad thing. It's just different, and it's just something that I just didn't want for him. I wanted him to have the option whether he could take them off or have them on and hear. Me more, I was just like, I want him to be able to, I think long term, when I don't think like right now, I'm not like, oh, I want him to like hear the songs on like Mickey Mouse. Like, I don't care. I'm more like, I want him to be able to hear his wedding song and his wife read her vows to him and that type of thing. So like, that's the way I think. So I was like, if I don't do it now, then he won't maybe have that.
Yeah.
So we decided to give him the MRI to see if he had them. Came back, he was able to get them. He was able to get the surgery.
Is there a percentage of people that like can't get it? Like, what are the odds?
I don't know the percentage because everybody is so different. It's
like to not be able to have the test. Like, do they tell you like
if you can't hear, more than likely you don't have ear nerves, but there's also a chance that you could have them.
Wow.
So I don't know. I don't want to give a number because I'm not sure of it. I just know that there was an option that
it's
like,
common
it could
though.
not happen.
Yeah.
Like, so a lot of people don't qualify for it. That's why you need to get checked to qualify. So there has been doctor's appointments, never-ending doctor's appointments, shots that he had to get just to make sure because the risks of getting the implant increase for meningitis. So he actually had to have the meningitis shot before to prevent him from getting it, and he actually has to have it more often than normal people just to make sure that he doesn't get it because the surgery, that's one thing that is a downfall about it. There's 1% chance that the surgery doesn't work. There's 1% chance that when they do the surgery, it could hit a facial nerve and his whole face could drop, obviously, because...
Wait, this is the surgery he's having Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
There's a 1% chance that his body could reject the implant and find it as like a foreign object and reject it completely, like people's earrings do or belly button rings or that whole thing. Like it rejects it because it's a foreign object to them. So there's all these % chances of like things happening, but I feel like the benefits are so much more for him. And I know that there's like such a stigma in the hearing or non-hearing world. People who do sign language don't want anything to do with the cochlear implant, and people who do the cochlear implant don't want people to know sign language. And I'm trying to like bond the two together.
Yeah.
To try to give him the option of both. Like they're just very much in their own communities of those worlds. And like there's nothing wrong with anything if they choose sign language, or there's nothing wrong with anything if you choose the implant. But like it's very hard to bond the two together because they have separate worlds. Like one is a hearing world and one is a non-hearing world. And so it's like all very touchy-feely, and I'm learning along the way of like what's okay and what's socially acceptable and the whole thing. But like I'm also doing what's best for my son, and I really don't care about the communities, and I'm doing what I think that he would want me to do for him.
It's not like this is a decision, by the way, that you just made overnight.
This has been 10 months worth of stress.
Of going back and forth and debating and getting opinions from your friends and family and talking it through. I mean,
and like one day if he decides he doesn't want the implant, he can have it removed.
Yeah.
And like he can have it taken out.
And at least he'll have that option.
And he has the option. If I don't get it for him, then he will have to struggle with speech and that whole thing. If I get it for him now he will learn how to speak without having an impairment at all, which is why I'm doing it so fast. The real reason why I'm doing one ear and not 2 ears at the same time is because we want him to be able to hear for his first birthday so we can sing to him. And it seems like such a stupid thing that parents like don't really like they don't really take they don't really think is like something that's a problem. But like when you think about singing to your son for his first birthday and everyone moving their mouths and him not knowing what's going on is so sad to me. So I was like, I'd rather do 1 ear at a time because insurance won't clear it if it's 2 at the same time under a year old. So we're doing 1 at a time. And also a 7-hour surgery really freaked me out all at once. So I was like, let me just do 1 ear, see how if it rejects or not, see how it goes, how he does. And then from there on, we'll do another surgery for the other ear if necessary.
But it just means that, is it kind of like having headphones in 1 ear?
It's kind of like if you were to get like water in your ear.
Yeah.
And like you can't get it out, but you can hear perfectly in the other ear. It's kind of like that. Like you'd be able to hear perfectly. I mean, I use that word loosely. You'd be able to hear what I think it's 90% in this ear and then nothing in the other ear. But like if people talk to you on this one side, you won't be able to hear. You'd have to have them talk to you on the other side. So it's like it's still not perfect, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
So that's this Tuesday. That's 2 days away.
So okay, wait, you do this at a hospital?
Yeah, we're at a very prestigious hospital in New York City. We went with the best doctor that we found that we it's not even just the doctor because he's done a lot of surgeries on adults, the kids, babies, the whole thing. It was more about the staff that worked there and the aftercare. I was really wanting to be with
because he's a baby
and I wanted somebody who had bedside manner and wanted somebody who I felt like really connected with him and not just somebody who's like, oh, he's the best doctor in the world but he doesn't speak to you. Like his staff there was really, really sweet. They really, they're like throwing a party for him and his activation. Like there's things that I really, really like about this place. It's just really special to have in like such a hard time to feel like people who are considering you family and like such that know what they're talking about that you can
it's so
call.
hard. It's just the little things that make you feel better.
I call them his I don't really know what her status is or her title, but it's basically like his activist, the person who like signs him up for the stuff and whatever. Her name is Michelle, and she's like incredible. I can call her for whatever, and she's always like, no problem, we'll just talk about it, and don't worry. And she's always like, he's a normal kid, and he has so much going for him, and he'll be able to play sports, and he'll be able to do this, and she just makes me feel so much better about kind of going through it, because she makes me feel like all this is normal when I know it's really not the norm. That's what you just said,
the keyword, yeah.
But I never want to make him feel like he's not.
Right.
So like even like I know that he, like when you live in a home, you have to put a sign up that says deaf child playing. Like I don't want to draw that type of attention to him, because I don't want to ever make him feel like
he's different.
He's different. Like the fact that we probably have to have a handicap sticker on our car because he is deaf. He's not handicapped, but he's technically under the umbrella of I don't want to use the wrong words because I don't want to offend anyone, but it's like my son, so I'm going through it differently.
You're still learning, yeah.
Yeah, but like I'm always gonna blame that on Corey, because Corey was stabbed in the leg, and so he technically has like a little bit of a limp when he walks. So I'm gonna always be like, oh no, that's for Daddy because of his leg. Like I'm never gonna make him feel like it's for him, because I don't want him to feel any other way than just like his sisters. And they are so excited. Like Skylar was telling somebody the other day, my brother is going to go to the doctor, and then he's going to be able to hear us, and like the whole thing. And it's like so crazy to me, because Jaden's like, yeah, he's going to hear us sing to him, and I'm just like, oh my god, like it's crazy that my 2.5 and 4-year-old like get it, like really get it. And it's because like I've taught them sign language, and they sign to him, and they say beautiful and I love you and hospital and all these things that I've taught them, and like so much sign language, and like they do their names. And I just felt like it was really important for them to connect with him on that level. But he's very much like, he's into like watching them perform and dance, because it's a visual thing. So he's able to like watch them.
Oh, they've got a great
Let
show
It Go,
with the girls.
And, like, it's cute. So like they have a very strong connection between the three of them. They're all within 3 years of each other, from top to bottom. So each kid is 1.5 years apart, and so already they're close. But like with the fact of how compassionate they are towards him, is making them even closer. And like this whole thing is like just so new for us. And like Corey has a hard time with it, not because he's deaf or because there's anything wrong, but it's just more like he just feels for him, because he's like, I don't want, and you never want your kid to go through anything that you can't help them with. So it's such like a struggle for us, because the baby's born and you're like, oh look, 10 fingers, 10 toes, everything's perfect. And like, that's all you think of. You never think of like, what if he can't see me, or what if he can't hear me, or what if, and now we just found out he has like a heart murmur. And there's like little things that we, I mean, people live with heart murmurs all the time. It's not that big of a deal, but for a 10-month-old who's going into invasive surgery, we were like totally freaked out to have to go to the cardiologist and have him checked and that whole thing. And
so let me ask you a question. So Tuesday, 3-hour surgery? Like you wait there while this happens? You're going to be with your mom?
Yeah, I'm going to go with my mom, and Julian and Corey will be there with me. And I think my sister-in-law is going to be watching the girls so that we don't have to take them with us. But then all my family will be at the activation.
Wait, sorry. So slow down. So is the activation like after the
April
surgery?
11th.
Oh, okay. Wait.
He needs time to heal before they could put the machine
What
on
happens
him.
after the surgery? Like, does he have to stay at the
heals.
hospital?
No,
you can take him
taken
home.
Wow. I'm gonna go to my mom's with him so that the girls, so I have somebody with me to like give him the most attention he can have, recover with like quiet, and even though he's not gonna be able to hear yet, like just without the girls bothering us, my sister-in-law will have him. Then my friend Lisa will have them. So there's just a lot of like steps to have the girls covered, the baby covered, Corey with work, the whole thing. It's just a lot of moving parts. And then we moved in the middle of this whole thing, which was miserable. So yeah, it's just so many like moving parts that I'm trying to still get my, all I know is the dates. Like I don't know.
The activation, how far after?
April 11th is the activation date.
So it's over a month? A month, it's about
3 weeks.
Okay.
He has to recover for like a few weeks, just the scar.
And what does activation mean? They like turn it on?
Is basically literally? The activation. They put the device onto his head after it's healed, and it's basically like a magnet that will go on and like transmit all the sounds that they hear into what it should be. So that's the first time. It's on a very low setting.
Will that be at a doctor's office?
It'll be at the same office that we go to in the city. And
your family's gonna come with you to be there for that?
I'm sure like everybody will be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be my parents and Corey's mom and his sisters and
he'll be able to like
my brothers.
You're hoping for a reaction, like you see in like trending Facebook videos where he's like looking around.
That's the hard thing is that I know people are always like, oh my God, this is gonna be you and blah blah blah. But like, it's so depressing to me because it's all unknown. So when people send me those, I'm like, it actually puts me in a really bad mood instead of happy because.
Do you feel like is there a possibility that he still won't be able to hear?
Well, the thing is that Michelle told us that there's a thing called like the crying circle or the circle of cries or something to that effect where like it'll scare him at first that he can hear and then he'll cry because he's scared and then he'll stop because he could hear himself crying and then he'll cry again and it'll just be like a circle. So like she's like he may not like laugh at you or smile at you or anything, so don't take that as a bad thing. It's just he's trying to process all this stuff because he's never known any of it.
Imagine, that's insane.
So like I'm hoping obviously that he like smiles when he hears my voice.
But a cry is still
like
good,
anything.
right?
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, that's why the videos that people send me are really hard because I know that they don't mean it, but they just don't know how it affects me. It's just like because those give me false hope of what's gonna happen, and if that doesn't happen, then I'm gonna take it in a bad way.
Yeah.
And like I don't want all these videos of like the baby's laughing and holding the mommy's face and like smiling.
But you'll
and reacting
get that
towards
moment.
It.
If they work, you'll get it. It might not be the first thing that he does, but you'll get that moment
eventually.
With him.
That's what we're hoping. But like,
of course,
you immediately think like, oh my God, activation day. Like this is what we're gonna get. And like it's hard to see videos of other kids, especially because one of the babies is my friend, Christy's daughter. Charlie, and she is always like, are you ready for surgery and blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, I mean I'm nervous more than anything because I feel like I haven't given it enough time and attention to focus on what's happening, and now it's all just happening really fast. Now it's like Tuesday, and we're like, okay,
I can't believe it's Tuesday.
So we've been waiting for months. We've known since he was 6 months old that it was gonna be this date, but like now all of a sudden like those 4 months flew, and now it's going to happen. And I'm just like so nervous. I don't know whether to be nervous, excited, sad, happy, like it's all over.
What Nurse Michelle said is makes actually more sense than like getting an instant, because think about it, like this, it must be so intense.
It's
and like
so overwhelming to never hear a pin drop and then hear all these sounds of people crying.
So what do they call it? The circle?
I think it's the circle of cries or something like that.
That makes way more sense. Like that's probably what happens more.
She's like, that could very easily be what happens, and he's gonna cry, but then you're gonna be like, oh my God, but he's hearing himself crying, so he's stopping.
So that's amazing.
She's like, it's just gonna be a roller coaster for you because. And then they throw like a little party for him, which is really cute. They call it his activation party. And like they called me the other day, his EI instructor, Sammy, she was like early intervention, which is like therapy and intensive care. Like it's basically preschool for kids who need extra help in like speech and everything. So she sets that up for us. And she was like, does he like Mickey or like Paw Patrol? Like, what is he like? I'm like, I don't fucking know. He likes Sophia the First because that's what his sisters watch. Like, he doesn't know at this point. He's not like big enough to know. I was like, so if you could make it like centered around his nickname Ace and like with playing cards and stuff, she's like, oh my God, this is such a fun theme. Like, I love it. We've never done anything like this. So I was like, oh my God. So they're having like a little party for him, which is fun and exciting because all my family will be able to like see
What's the activation date again?
April 11th.
April 11th. Oh, it's going to be so soon.
Yeah. April 11th is the first, where they make it very low, so it's not too overwhelming, and it's just in the one ear. And then April, I think it's 22nd is his second date. They make it a little bit louder. And then I think it's May 8th is his last one, where it goes the absolute loudest, and that's 5 days before his birthday and like a week before his party.
Wow.
So it's like right on time with everything. And I'm just like, he actually may hear everything at his party, and I'm just like, it's amazing.
Amazing.
So,
it really is amazing.
Yeah, it's more of like his party is not only just his first birthday, it's like his first celebration of like hearing
life.
And life, and it's just starting. And
so,
and then she said, she was like, I remember the first thing you said to us when we asked you like if you wanted to get him the implant or not, and I was like, all I want is for him to be able to hear me say I love him, because you say it all the time, but like he doesn't hear it. And like I just started crying on the phone because I was like, it seems like something so little.
Most parents don't even think twice about it.
Like you say I love you all the time and you just hug and kiss them, and then they're responsive of it. And like the fact that I can't do that right now, it's not about me. It's just about him hearing his mother's voice say it. is like so. I don't know. And that's why I'm like, I feel like I have a different outlook on motherhood.
You're gonna have that moment. Like, that moment is your destiny. Like, you're gonna have it. There's no doubt. It's just a matter of when. Yeah. And, it's just, you're gonna have that. And
I feel like from now until April is gonna be like the longest 3 weeks of my life. Because I'm like, okay, he has a surgery. Can he just hear already? And like, it doesn't work like that. So.
It's going to be a good... Remember how we just couldn't wait for 2018 to be over?
I know. And now 2019 has been kind of a shit show for me. I'm waiting for like April to 2019.
This is a nice change. I think it's going to set you on a path of a change. Do you know what I mean?
I hope so.
Because I think this has been like looming over your head, has it not?
It has been like constantly absorbing my brain. And like I can't really think of anything but this because... You're like, am I making the right decision? Like, you never know what you do for your kids is the right decision until after you do it. And then hindsight is 2020. And you're like, I should have never done this, or I should have done this, and I did the right thing. And I just want whatever's best for him. And he can't tell me right now. So right now I have to just guess, which is hard.
It's crazy when you think of it like that. You're guessing.
I'm doing what I think he would want, but I don't know. And like people are like, well, how dare you take that from him and like give him an implant in his head that you don't even know if he wants. And I'm like, but he won't even know if he wants it when he's older because he won't have the experience. At least if he has it, he could be like, I don't want this shit in me and take it out. And then that's it. He lives in his silent world. But I say all the time, I'm like, he gets the best of both worlds. He gets the most peaceful sleep you'll ever have because he hears nothing. And then he could also turn it on and like laugh and dance with his sisters to music.
Right.
And then when they're annoying and yelling at each other and screaming, he could take it off again. Like, it's the best of both worlds. I don't get to do that.
I can't wait for teenage Julian to just turn them off when you're annoying her.
I said, you know what? The worst fuck you ever to your wife is going to be when she's arguing with you and you just take it and slam it on the table and walk away because then she can't say anything to you. I was like, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. So there's all things I'm keep trying to like make myself laugh about.
You said it best. Like, you're his mom. You're trying to do what's best for him. And you're still, even with all that, you're still guessing and you're just
I don't know anything. I'm living in the dark world because I know nothing about all of this. It wasn't even something that I thought was ever I would deal with.
And just every step of the way, learning more and more about the deaf community and
like I want to learn as much
implants.
As possible and not offend anybody in it. And it's just so hard because it's like black and white spectrum. There's no in the middle.
But you're aware a lot of people don't care about who they offended. Like, you're
I feel bad about it because I don't want anybody thinking that I'm saying it's a disability because it's really not. It's just something that I think most people are born with that they just take it for granted.
Yes.
More than anything else.
Think about it. It's nuts.
Yeah. Even me like listening to myself talk on the headphones, I'm like, he would never have had that if I didn't just book the surgery for him. So I'm like, I feel like I have no right as a parent, instead of giving it to him and forcing the surgery upon him, like I have no right not giving him the option.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm more...
You're doing the right thing. And
I'm trying. Like, it's so hard.
He's such a sweet child. Like, I wish you guys could, like, he is such a good boy. Is he not the best little boy?
Yeah, he just sits there
so
and
happy.
Like, takes it all in. And he's so happy in his little world.
And his other senses are so heightened because of it. Like, he's so aware and so like
he's
engaged.
Very touchy. Like, when you sit and talk to him, he wants to hold your hand or touch your face. And then, like, when you sit there and, like, kind of, like, play with him, he locks eyes with you and he does not, like, blink because he's like, I made a connection with her and that's my way because I can't talk to her that I'm making eye contact. And
so you mean it's not just me how he looks at me?
The way he looks at you is like dreamy. It's ridiculous. It's so funny.
He's just such a good kid and it's gonna really define him as a person. And
I don't know why, I just get like these feelings that like he's gonna do something to change the world because he is like such a different kid. Like the girls, they're so special and so unique, but like Julian they're out of control. But Julian is just on another level of like making people feel good about themselves. It's so crazy.
Yes. I mean, like you kind of said, it'd be great if like the two worlds could come
just
together.
Collide, and like live in both worlds at the same time.
I would love to learn sign language.
Well, we're doing it. I mean, we do it little by little because we're not going to need to rely on it. However, we want to learn it just to respect the rest of the community.
For sure.
So he could have deaf friends that like don't speak, that don't have the implant that he could still talk to. So we kind of just want to give him like a roundabout of all options.
Yeah.
And I hope it's not like frowned upon, but that's what the choice we make for him was. So
we wanted to pre-record this for you guys so that you were up to date. But by the time this goes live, the surgery will be over.
Yeah.
Think about that. That's exciting.
And when is this airing before the 5th?
It'll be
before the
season
15th?
finale. So there'll be a season finale. They'll hear this first, and we'll go live and see how the surgery went.
Okay, so
you guys, in a few minutes, we'll hear how it all went. You don't have to wait.
I think it's almost exactly his activation date.
Awesome.
Because what is today? Tuesday will be the 13th episode. Next Tuesday will be the 14th. This will be the week before this activation will air February 7th. April 7th. And this will be the week before his activation.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
so,
amazing.
Your baddies, me.
We'll update
we
you.
all wish you best of luck. We know Julian's in good hands. Best care, best family.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Imagine waking up from surgery and like all your family's there.
17,000 family members.
Yeah.
I know. That's how our family is. Everywhere we go, there's like 8 or 9
It's
of
beautiful.
us everywhere.
It's a beautiful thing. I love you.
All right,
I love
you
you,
too.
Julian. I hope you hear this one day. Don't forget, guys. New clips air every Thursday. So see you next Thursday.
Hosted on dimlywit.com.
Even though we are not your best examples,
We're the best you've got.
so cheers, bitches.
Cheers. Make sure you subscribe to our channel for updates, and if you like this clip, share it with a friend.